You know, this is not rocket science. It's very, very simple. My cat's going to come see me. Um, Free energy is not something that these big corporations can make a lot of money off of. Energy is what all of these big, big, huge, massive corporations are getting all of their power, their wealth from. You take away nuclear power, you take away oil, you'll end all wars. We'll actually create more of a heaven if we just got rid of the ways in which we consume energy. And there are so many, many smart ways if we actually decided to do things the smart way. But we, the people, don't want to demand it. And I'd like to just, you can get a calculator that runs off solar energy. You can turn it on. It doesn't need a battery. You don't need to plug in a calculator. You can do the same thing with any appliance that you own. Anything, any phone, cell phone, yeah, anything that you use does not need to be plugged into a wall. Any car you drive does not need to be filled up with gas. It could self-energize itself. And if it can't, it shouldn't be allowed on the market. If you can't have a product that runs without energy, or it's generating its own energy, it shouldn't be allowed on the market. And it is such an easy thing to do, but we have to have these guidelines. We have to have these demands. We, the people, should stop buying anything that needs to be plugged in. It's possible. We are that smart. But these big corporations are making tons and tons of money off of energy. They need you to require energy so that they make a lot of money. And a lot of it is the corporation, the corporate structure. Most of it, if you own stock, if you're earning any of your living through a stock in any type of oil, any type of energy, you are guilty. You are the criminal. So it's like, you look at somebody's big house, you look at somebody's big car, and you see how they're earning their money, and then you know who the enemy is. All you have to do is point out the enemies, and the enemies are the ones that are earning their living off of the current energy situation. And Japan's going to fall. And it's an island that's sinking with 55 nuclear power plants. So it's like, how much of the world do we have to destroy? I sure hope Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have, been visiting Japan and they're kind of stuck on the island. That would be kind of cool. But they'll never ever escape this insanity. I don't care where they bury themselves in the ground. That is one of the biggest things that I'm kind of really loving, is these elites. They all think they're so smart. And let's just see that the smartest guy in the room is starting to show that they ain't so smart. And what they're doing is they're burying themselves in the ground. And it's like everybody else is feeling like, oh, that's the place to be, that we should be following them, and that only the rich are going to be survived because they're going into some tomb under the ground. And I guess they haven't really quite realized that they're burying themselves. It's like, don't be upset that you can't afford an underground cave. That's they're putting themselves in their own grave. You should be grateful that smart people are burying themselves. All we have to do is make sure that it's sealed and they can't come out. And I guess they don't know that the earth is sort of moving and shifting and changing, and which will just collapse inside them. And so I sure hope Warren Buffett and Bill Gates have their little tombs ready. Get inside those suckers, because the shit is going to hit the fan from all of your wealth that you felt you needed to make. It's like your own doing. I do not wish anybody harm. I wish we would all wake up. I wish the guys at the top would at least wake up and start doing things the proper way. But if they don't want to, who am I to stop them from their own destruction? I'm just going to watch the ride. Sit back and just watch everything fall apart. In Japan, sink. And I feel so horrible for the people that are out there, but look at how you're earning your living. You know, are you making some kind of electronics that requires nuclear power? That needs the power to be turned on in order for it not to self-destruct and blow up the whole friggin' planet? I mean, you gotta see your role in the domino effect to your own destruction. And I know so many people are going to hate me for just having my own opinion. For me observing what's going on. God, I'm getting so much hate from just warning about Red Cross. But let's face it, is Red Cross helping anybody in Katrina? I mean, I know that they're still suffering. A lot of people still lost their homes. A lot of people, you know, but nobody's doing anything there. Haiti, is Red Cross doing, you know, what are they solving there in Haiti? I hear that they're still suffering there. So how much did Red Cross do to solve that problem? They only seem to be there during the big money drive. This is just a big money drive right now. And Red Cross is showing up. Here, give me the money. And then I've had some people, you know, like the hate mail has started, the comments. Not too much, actually. A lot of people are actually kind of agreeing with me and seeing the same picture, but this is through experience that I talk about. It's not me looking up some statistic that could be wrong on Google. No, this is actually, you know, needing their help and finding out, oh, you were only interested in patting yourself on the back by saying you were doing something good. It seemed like I've needed their help and they weren't there. I've had conversations with them personally. I've seen how they don't want to have a conversation that kind of makes them look a little bad. Like if you want to actually sit down and have a conversation with them, they don't want that. They only want your money. And people that donate their time only say, I'm a good person because I donate my time. I don't give a shit whether the organization is like the mafia corrupt and doing a lot of harm to my planet. As long as I volunteer and it makes me look like I'm a good person, I don't care what the structure is. As long as I'm looking like a good person, I don't care how much harm I'm doing to my planet. So let the hate mail, you know, like, no big deal. Hate me if you want. I'm just observing, reporting some insanity that I see. And it's like, we're all hating each other, so it's like, go ahead, hate me. Hate me for my observations. I'm only saying, do you really think that what we're doing is the right thing? Everything's falling apart. Do you really think that if everything that's going, you're going to justify it being right if it's all falling apart? Or should we be taking a different perspective in how we look at everything? I'm just saying. The world appears to be falling apart, which I'm kind of grateful because I don't want it held together the way it is. I kind of want the world to be falling apart. Aren't I a powerful person making the world fall apart? And I ain't the only one. Anybody else that's been affected, the victim of this system that is in place right now, we all, you know, in our subconscious mind, which has more power than the conscious mind, but subconsciously it's like the world's falling apart. We need the world to crash. We need everything to just crash and burn so that a new system comes up. So the more and more that this is affecting a lot of people, that you wake up to how wrong everything is, that's what's going to go on in your subconscious mind. And subconsciously, we're going to just make the world fall apart until it starts healing itself. We all need to be healed from within, but it's got to be crashed first. We can't cope and deal with everything that's wrong. We can't accept everything that's wrong. It's time for change. Intelligent change, not stupidity, insane change. And profit will always guide you towards insanity. Just saying. Peace out.